Coming up on AgweekTV, we'll take a look at yield prospects in Minnesota after a disastrous start to the crop season.
I'll visit with a Minnesota man who overcame his dislike of ties to become an egg banker.
And Iowa's governor calls out EPA for granting more oil refinery waivers. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The trade war between the U.S. and China has escalated and continues to drag on, now possibly pushing past the 2020 elections. Negotiators are planning to meet in September, and President Trump has now delayed $150 billion of the next 10% tariffs on Chinese imports. Tariffs on another $150 billion will still take effect September 1. At the same time, the president says he's not ready to make a deal with China. U.S. Ambassador to China Terry Branstad says the war has lasted longer than expected and there's no timeline for resolution. He's not sure how much longer it will last or if China is stalling until after the election.
What I've tried to tell him is this is not going to change just because there's a change in party, because both parties are tired of the way that China has handled this situation.
Branstad says the latest retaliation by China has included a threat to stop ag purchases, and although they deny it, currency manipulation.
This isn't the first time, and consequently, they don't like getting called out, but it's the facts, and we can see it in what's happened to the value of their currency.
China floats its currency to make U.S. exports more expensive and Chinese exports cheaper. Branstad says it will take persistence and patience for the two countries to strike a deal, and the biggest issues haven't changed: intellectual property and technology transfer. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds says she's disgusted EPA has granted 31 more oil refinery exemptions from the renewable fuel standard for 2018. This represents more than 1 billion gallons of additional lost RFS demand and comes after 54 exemptions were given the prior 2 years. She says EPA is going back on President Trump's promise to support the ethanol industry, and this will hurt rural America at the worst possible time.
We need Administrator Wheeler to do what President Trump promised to help us support a strong and robust renewable fuel standard. So we'll be reaching out to the administration, and we're going to talk to them and just say this isn't acceptable.
EPA has also refused to reallocate the lost gallons from the waivers, which has caused 13 ethanol plants to shut down and others to slow production across the country. Reynolds says there's no justification for the waivers to be granted to oil refineries whose parent companies are making billions of dollars. She says they want more transparency on how the decision was made to grant the exemptions. USDA's much-anticipated supply and demand report was another market shocker. USDA lowered corn acreage to 90 million acres, but raised yield by 3.5 bushels, which pushed production to 13.9 billion bushels and ending stocks to nearly 2.2 billion bushel. Soybean acreage was lowered to 76.7 million acres. Yield was left unchanged, but production dropped to 3.68 billion bushels, and ending stocks were trimmed by 40 million bushel from last month. Wheat ending stocks were raised 14 million bushel over last month to 1.014 billion. Speculation on crop size has been running wild with record prevented plant and the late crop development. On Monday, only 30% of corn in Minnesota was at dough stage versus the 57% average, and 25% of the soybeans had not even set pods yet. We talked to farmers to find out what that means for production. It was a disastrous start to the crop season for Minnesota farmers. That was especially true in southwestern Minnesota.
Out of 2,300 acres that we farm, 1,800 is prevent plant.
As you move east and north in the state, more of the crop got planted, but at various times, and corn is very uneven due to nitrogen loss.
The fields are not that good, even course over the top, as we get into the field. There's too many drowned outs and low spots.
Both corn and soybeans were planted late and are behind in development.
There again, there was a lot of late beans planted, and we need a long fall to get them mature.
So that's going to push some of this late planted corn way into the month of October. So the concern is frost in September.
Farmers say corn will be lighter test weight and have lower yields with very few 200 bushel field averages.
We're like 160 to 170 on corn, and we're probably in that area, not as good as a year ago.
We've probably got more of a average for us in our area, 165 to 170, because we got too many drowned outs, too many low areas where it was compacted when we were putting it in, or muddy.
Soybean yields are also expected to be down with the late season, except for the northern counties, which had timely planting.
Soybeans should be average or a little bit above, because we've been a little bit on the dry side.
I'm thinking that it could be, compared to last year, I could be down 15 bushels an acre.
Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll meet a full-time ag banker who still finds time for farming.
Dakota Fest is back August 20th through the 22nd in Mitchell, South Dakota. Dakota Fest exists to provide you the tools to grow your family farm operation. Network with over 500 exhibitors specialized in row crop and livestock farming. Attend ag education sessions and experience live equipment demos you can only see in person. Don't forget to bring the family for great food and fun kid events as well. Join Dakota Fest this year, August 20th through the 22nd. For more information and discounted tickets, visit dakotafest.com.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Batco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
Dakota Prairie Lodge presents Farm to Table Dinner, August 28th and 29th, 2019. A 4-course dinner by Chef Steve Schultz with local beer and special guests from the agriculture community, showcasing the products of area agriculture. With support of Ag Week, join us for the unique dining experience. For more information and reservations, visit cdplodge.com/events.
Nothing holds more promise than a seed. And when it comes from Peterson Farm Seed, it's backed with a promise from us. We'll sell no seed we wouldn't be happy to plant on our own farm, so that growers like Mark can keep a promise of his own, to teach his kids how to care for the land, their family, and their community, and build a future that extends generations. Grow your promise. Grow Peterson Farm Seed.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
Without proper maintenance, combines can spread weeds and disease that can become expensive and challenging to deal with. In Part 5 of our season-long Planting to Processing series, sponsored by the North Dakota Soybean Council, Rose Dunn has some advice on proper combine cleanout.
The last thing we want to do is spread noxious weeds to another one of our fields or anybody else's fields.
Jason Rayner farms near Findlay in east central North Dakota. He's diligent about daily combine cleanout, in large part to control the spread of disease and noxious weeds like Palmer amaranth that are nearly impossible to control.
The first way to get rid of it is to try to make sure you don't have it. We know it's coming, and it's just being prepared to do the proper steps to take care of it so it doesn't become a problem.
He's right. An ounce of prevention is far more than a pound of cure. As much as 150 pounds of unwanted biomaterial can remain in the combine after harvesting one field. It may be hidden in tight spaces in the machine or obvious places like the gathering head and grain tank.
You literally have to dig it all out and get right back down to the chains and stuff in order to get all that cleaned out.
While it's impossible to remove all remaining debris from a combine, the effort can go a long way in reducing the spread of problems.
All the products that we need to raise a good crop are expensive, so we need to make sure we're being preventative.
Angie Johnson is an NDSU Extension agent in Steele County who specializes in agronomic biosecurity. She says there are many new threats to crops that need to be managed or prevented with combine cleanout. Clean it between fields and especially before you switch crops.
it can be really, really hard to completely clean out your unit. But if you're doing the best you can, stopping before you switch to fields to get out the problems that you have, at least you can prevent maybe from what could be a blow-up situation and maybe keep it contained to a smaller area that you can manage effectively with your herbicide program.
Johnson recommends keeping a portable air compressor or even a leaf blower handy for a quick cleanout. A good combine cleanout can also prevent fires and other issues. For AgweekTV, this is Rose Dunn.
You can read more in the next Ag Week magazine or at agweek.com. With less money being made on the farm these days, the need for off-farm jobs is more important. This month, Ag Week is profiling 3 area farmers who hold full-time jobs off the farm to supplement their income and to get benefits. Jonathan Knudsen introduces us to a man who combines ag banking and farming in this week's Ag Week cover story.
Jason says he has a hard time sitting still. All that energy comes in useful in his dual career.
From the time I was a kid, I didn't like going to the babysitter, so I'd rather tag along with my dad out to the farm.
Jason always wanted to farm. Now he has 600 acres of his own near Badger, Minnesota.
I think just seeing the things grow and how things change, from the time you get rid of the snow and you see everything dry up to you get the seed in the ground, how it's coming out of the ground. And it's always fun to take a drive out every night and you can see how it's changed. You're out in nature. You see some of the nicest sunrises and sunsets when you're out in the field.
Jason also helps on Brock Serbota's 7,000-acre farm. He worked there growing up.
Jason always loved agriculture about as much as any kid I've ever seen, because I don't think there was a day that if he wasn't in school that he wasn't out on a farm.
To supplement his income and to get health insurance, Jason's also been a full-time banker at Border State Bank in Roseau since graduating from college 12 years ago.
It's been very valuable for me, seeing the business side of things rather than the production side of things.
Jason no longer wears a suit and tie at work. He says the bank is flexible with him in an even bigger way.
At harvest time, I might go in I'll go in early, probably 6, 7 in the morning, work till about 10, take care of what I need to, and then I'm off to the combine. And so yeah, basically the months of August, September, and October, I don't spend a ton of time in the bank.
Smith's goal is having enough land to support himself farming, but he has no immediate plans to quit his banking job. In Badger, Minnesota, this is Jonathan Knudsen for Ag Week.
You can read more on this in the next Ag Week magazine or on agweek.com.
Coming up on the AgweekTV Soil Health Minute, find out why nitrogen release in cover crops isn't so simple.
But first, we'll check in on a farmer that's been dealing with a lack of rain this season.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
When the water's high and your yields are low, 'cause your fields have no place for water to flow, just one call takes care of it all. Call on Field Drainage Incorporated. Call on Field Drainage Incorporated. Call on Field Drainage. Experts in the
It's the perfect time to get ready for harvest, and North Star Ag has the equipment you need to keep things running smoothly this season. We have a great selection of augers from Meridian and Wheatheart, as well as Batco and Unitube conveyors. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. And don't forget, North Star Ag has Meridian hopper bins for any size operation. See our complete new and used equipment inventory at northstarag.com or give us a call.
Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate. So when conditions are right, be ready with genuine Case IH parts from Titan Machinery. Only genuine Case IH parts are engineered to keep your equipment running at peak efficiency when you're running around the clock. Don't risk your bottom line with off-brand parts that don't meet the same standards. Visit your local Titan Machinery dealership today to find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value and performance for your operation.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
While much of the Dakotas have been dealing with too much precip, there's an area in north-central North Dakota that has had a lack of rain this season. This week's crop stop takes us to Leeds, about 35 miles west of Devil's Lake. Dwayne Anderson is raising only wheat and soybeans this year. It's the first time in 15 years he hasn't grown corn, and he says that turned out to be a good decision. While areas around him have had good rains, his farm has only had 0.2 of an inch in July and August.
I'm glad I don't have corn, but the soybeans, it's nip and tuck what'll happen there if it gets too dry. Wheat looks good, but wheat prices don't look good. No prices look good.
Anderson says his soybeans are starting to get that characteristic grayish cast when it's dry, and he says they need rain soon to salvage the crop. And here's John with our agri-weather outlook.
Weather portion of Ag Week now. I don't know if you've heard, but it's been making the rounds of weather news that the El Nino of 2019 has officially washed out. It's ended. So what that means is not necessarily a lot of stuff, except that there is absolutely no El Nino impact. And what I'm seeing in the models and in the weather patterns is more of an ambulatory up-down temperature pattern as we go into the middle and the second half of August. Southwestern part of the United States, nada. The monsoon looks like it's cut off, no precipitation expected at all. But back in the Great Plains and the upper Midwest and across the Corn Belt, it looks like it will be stormy at times due to the up-down pattern. In a bit of a lull, a bit of a cool down over the weekend, but warm weather will be building back this week. In fact, for at least a couple of days, the Corn Belt up into parts of the northern plains will get some weather into the 90s, and I think those 90s may even get up to about the Canadian border by the end of the week before the front pushes down. And of course, the jet stream in front coming down will likely mean in the transition a chance of thunderstorms. Then we'll be cool to start out next week, but I do expect the heat to surge back before it drops south again before we get to the end of August. Now, with that in mind, precipitation-wise, most of this week, northern plains, upper Midwest looking relatively storm-free until the end of the week when it starts getting toward the end of the hot, muggy period, and then we'll get a round of storms. Nothing for the southwest, and just typical summertime humidity showers and thunder showers over the southeastern states. The second week will again not be continuously stormy, but we're likely to have another period of stormy weather as the hot, humid weather builds in and sticks, and then with a cold front coming down, there might be a few more additional storms with the passage. So not necessarily continuously stormy weather, but definitely some rain chances.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow. with superior grain equipment.
DTE is your headquarters for flatbeds and service bodies for your truck. Whether you need to haul bales, heavy commercial equipment, or take every tool with you, DTE has the truck equipment you need. We have over 200 units on hand, or will custom build a flatbed or service body on your truck.
Like this Dewey's bale bed with dual lift cylinder arms. Lift, load, and handle your bales with ease.
When you need help at the farm, your business, or in the oil patch, count on DTE. DTE, let us build a truck for you.
How can one tillage tool handle most field conditions, residue types, and tillage practices? It takes a Renegade, the Summers VRT Renegade. Switch from vertical to aggressive tillage and anywhere in between. Adjust blade angles, tillage depth, and more on the go, all from an iPad. Get the tillage results you want, like only the Summers VRT Renegade can. For more information or a demo, contact your Summers dealer.
The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Nitrogen release from cover crops isn't always what you think, especially in the northern plains. In this week's Soil Health Minute, Abby Wick takes us to NDSU plots where they're measuring how much nitrogen is taken up by cover crops and when the nitrogen becomes available to cash crops.
Over the past several years, NDSU soil specialist Dave Franzen has been working on nitrogen uptake by cover crops and release to the following cash crops. I'm here at the Gardner site, which has been recently converted to no-till in the last 3 years. I'm in the wheat plots here, but we also have a soybean and a corn plot as well, where we're including cover crops in each part of the rotation. At our Rutland site, we have a similar setup, but on that site, we're looking at long-term no-till soils and also a 20-plus year use of cover crops in rotation. There are three main things that we're learning from these sites. Number one is that we relied so heavily on carbon to nitrogen ratios to tell us about how quickly those cover crops will release nitrogen to the following crop. And we're not necessarily seeing that as being an important component in this system. For example, all our cover crops have a seed-end ratio of 18:1, which means that it should be releasing nitrogen to corn the following year. However, it's not doing that. But this is not uncommon. Several other researchers are finding this as well, where cover crops are taking up nitrogen, but they're not releasing it the following year. So what we need to figure out now is where is that nitrogen and when is it going to be released? And that's what Dave is working on between our Gardner and our Rutland sites over the next couple years. So the moral of the story here is to keep applying nitrogen at recommended rates until we understand more about where that nitrogen is being held and when it might be released. You can find more detailed information on this in Dave Franzen's article in the Crop and Pest Report. There's a link to that report on the NDSU Soil Health webpage.
Hops are the flower that adds the bitter taste and aroma to beer. And as the popularity of craft beer has grown over the past few years, so has the demand for hops. That's making it an emerging crop in Minnesota. Katie Pinky talked to the president of the Minnesota Hops Growers Association about opportunities in hops.
John Brock from Stillwater, Minnesota. We're here with the Minnesota Hops Association. Tell us a little bit how you got into growing hops.
It's kind of looking for something different to do at a turn in my life, and I wanted to grow something, and I was a home brewer, went to a couple of workshops, and I was hooked. I didn't even know what a hop plant looked like back then. No.
I'm a barley farmer's daughter. I've been around barley and beer, but not hops. So tell us a little bit about hops and how it's growing in demand in Minnesota.
Actually, there was zero demand for it until the craft brewing industry started. Wisconsin actually had the industry going before us. I was one of the first growers in Minnesota. Since then, we've expanded. We've got about 225 members in our association, and about 25 of those are actually growing hops at this time.
This is a demo area, you said. These are babies.
They're baby first-year plants, correct.
So how high will these grow? How big will they get?
Next year, they will be all the way to the top. In fact, what they'll actually need to do is maybe even cut them back, prevent them from growing too fast. In June, they'll put on anywhere from 6 to 8 inches of growth every day. So after the summer solstice, they will stop growing up, and then they'll put on side arms and grow outward, and that's where all of the fruit is. That's where all the hop cones will be on those side arms. But you can see that it takes a whole lot of those hop cones to make a pound.
And then who turns them into the pellets?
Either the farmer does, or there is at least one facility in the state of Minnesota that's licensed, and they will pellet them and package them for you.
After they're pelletized, what are the pellets used for?
The pellets are used in the brewing process. They're a preservative. They provide the bittering in the hops and also the aroma and flavor in the beer. That much of that's coming from the hops.
Thanks for joining me.
You bet.
Still ahead on Ag Week TV, we'll take you to the Iowa State Fair where they're having fun for a great cause.
Dakota Prairie Lodge presents Farm to Table Dinner, August 28th and 29th, 2019. A 4-course dinner by Chef Steve Schultz with local beer and special guests from the agriculture community, showcasing the products of area agriculture. With support of Ag Week, join us for the unique dining experience. For more information and reservations, visit cdplodge.com/events.
With the all-new GreenFit system from Reichart, plug-and-play is finally a reality when using John Deere AutoTrack guidance with existing new products like the Challenger 1000 series or all-new C-Series Rogators from Butler Machinery. GreenFit is an authorized navigation interface that utilizes existing John Deere AutoTrack guidance systems to steer most Challenger tractors and sprayers. GreenFit eliminates the worry of learning and converting to a new steering system when buying an industry-leading Challenger from Butler Machinery. Learn more about GreenFit at butlermachinery.com/greenfit.
Dakota Fest is back August 20th through the 22nd in Mitchell, South Dakota. Dakota Fest exists to provide you the tools to grow your family farm operation. Network with over 500 exhibitors specialized in row crop and livestock farming. Attend ag education sessions and experience live equipment demos you can only see in person. Don't forget to bring the family for great food and fun kid events as well. Join Dakota Fest this year, August 20th through the 22nd. For more information and discounted tickets, visit dakotafest.com.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Ag Week is excited to bring you the Ag Week app with useful features and the latest news and information right at your fingertips. Get your Ag Week news, weather, and the latest episodes of Ag Week TV. Plus, see real-time information on the futures market and view local cash bids for your crops. Stay updated and take Ag Week with you wherever you are. Download the Ag Week app today. The Iowa State Fair continued in Des Moines this weekend and was well on its way to another attendance record. The fair attracts more than 1 million people who take in 4-H and FFA exhibits and livestock shows, including the Iowa Governor's Charity Steer Show. Lieutenant Governor Adam Gregg was the winner, and the auction raised $284,000 for the Ronald McDonald House Charities. The show is also a great way to promote beef.
That's great for the consumer, and it's great for the industry to be able to get in front of those consumers and show them what a great product we have and that buying beef is a wonderful thing.
Other attractions include all types of fair food, plus the famous butter carvings. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Ag Week TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the Ag Week app, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. And we'll see you next week.